it wasn't really a thing, like especially not commercially. Do you know what I mean? So people are like, "What? You're gonna do a bare knuckle fight? Like, no way! What are you doing that for?" Like, obviously, my mum, my dad, nobody wanted me to do it, but just went with my gut, man. I just was like, I got to do this, and I loved it. I remember after my first bare knuckle fight, I didn't sleep for like 2 days. The adrenaline was mad. It was madness. I mean, it's dangerous, like, because after my first fight, I didn't take too many punches, but I remember like being in a little bit in the clinch and like would be punching in the back of the head and that, and I had a big lump on the back of my head, and I went and spoke to like the hospital team afterwards, and they were like, that looks like a hematoma, be careful, all this kind of stuff. So I got ice, and I was just icing the back of my head. Went back to the hotel, all my friends, I've just won, knocked the guy out, come on, yeah, let's get on the piss. So I've had a couple of beers, and I go to the toilet, and like literally having a piss, and blacked out. Boom, fell on the floor. My friends carried me out, took me outside, got me an ambulance, and I went to the hospital. I just had like a bad concussion, but it was scary, man. I remember just having a piss, and literally the room just went boom, like just went black like that. So yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I want more.
That's wild. Yeah. It's an interesting experience to get knocked out. So when I was an amateur, I got dazed. I didn't even get knocked out, but I just couldn't. So I got hit square right here in the nose. Yeah. And I fall back on my back, and I could have gotten up, but I didn't know what way was up or down or left or right. So I'm just like, bro.
I just lay here for a minute.
Let me just, getting knocked out is an interesting experience.
It's not something you want to get used to. Right?
No, definitely not.
No, I mean, to be honest, I've never been knocked out, but I've been dropped. I've probably been dropped the hardest in sparring, and I remember going back, well, this is going back probably like 8 or 9 years now, but there was a guy in my gym as a pro boxer at the time called Ben Hall, and we used to spar rounds and rounds and rounds, and to be honest, I used to get the better of it. So I think I sort of went in that spar like, right, okay, like, you know, I'm going to get the better of this, you know. And I remember he caught me and he dropped me, and I got back up and I finished the spar, but I just cannot remember anything about that spar. And I remember like being sat down in the changing rooms afterwards. And to be honest with you, I was trying to sort of like make out like
what happened.
I was like, like sort of styling it out. But yeah, man, that was scary, because it just like it cuts out like a bit of your life. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're like you can't remember any of it. I remember my good friend who was a pro boxer as well. He fought at the York Hall Bethnal Green in London in a title fight, and he got knocked out. He got knocked out cold, and they took him back to the change rooms, obviously, to look after him. And he actually started warming up, and his trainer was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm getting warmed up for the fight." He's like, "No, you've just been knocked out." like just honestly, it just cuts that thing out your like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's scary, man.
Man, yeah, it's the mind, it's the brain, man. Like this is different. It's you know what I can compare it to is like people who, when they get older. If I could choose, obviously I don't have a choice in like how I die, but if I have a choice in how I die, I'd rather die from like a physical sickness than a mental sickness. Yeah. Because you see people go out here. Yeah. And it's sad, man.
And it's hard for everyone else to see it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially people that care about you, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you were talking about, before we started the podcast, about that being something with fighters, about like mental health, and that's most people don't know that that's something you guys deal with.
Yeah,
you know?
it's massive as well. It's huge. Like and you know, like I said to you earlier, I don't know if that's because, you know, we're males and we're stubborn and
tough
we're
guys,
you know, we don't want to express our feelings, right? But actually, you know, in a few sort of dark moments where, you know, being around my fight friends, they've really opened up to me, and I've really opened up to them, and I feel like we need to do that on a bigger scale, so that, you know, it will help other fighters, you know, because, you know, especially when you leave fighting, you know, it scares me. Like I'm looking for an exit route now, like as a coach, you know, trying to sort out all that kind of stuff. But you know, the day that I actually retire from fighting and I can't fight anymore it's a scary moment, because like I say, I've been doing it 22 years. I don't know how to do anything else. So, you know, and I look on, you know, a few of my heroes from back in England, like Ricky Hatton, who's obviously retired now, and they turn to drink, drugs, and you know, they're trying to fill that void
with something that's not positive. Yeah,
that is just
not good.
You're never going to fill that void. You know, I feel that the only way you're going to, you know, get that, be able to fill that void is through coaching and trying to get a passion through, you know, through other people. That's the only way I can see it. But yeah, it's, you know, it's been happening to quite a few of my fighter friends who have just, you know, gone down a bit of a, you know, the bad path. I'm not going to say that I haven't, because I have. You know, I've done it in the past. You know, I've had to have like surgeries where I've had like a year out, you know, 15 months out, and you can't train, you can't fight, you know, you can't earn money at the end of the day, and you turn to drink, you turn to whatever picks you up in that moment. So yeah, I think it'd be a big thing for fighters, very therapeutic. Because I know, just speaking from my experiences, when I talk to fighters, it's just nice to get it off my chest, you know? And nice that someone else recognises that as well. You know, like a good friend of mine, Steve Townsell. You know, we have some really deep chats, because you know, we're not just saying this for effect. You know, it's on our mind a lot, and you know. Yeah, we have some really good chats, and that's when we come up with an idea of like, perhaps we need to start a podcast, you know, talking about, you know, getting fighters on, talking about all their lives, their careers.
At the end of the day, it's going to help them as well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think people
and that void could be filled.
Definitely.
You know, by by creating a space where these people are comfortable enough to say, hey, you know, this guy gets it. You know, I'm going through this, and this guy gets it. He understands what I'm going through.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
and I think people will have a deeper appreciation for fighters. You know, because they'll be able to see on a human level. They'll be able to relate with you, because they'll probably be going through something like that in their own lives.
Yeah,
but they never could have thought that a fighter, which is seen as this alpha male, this strongest of men, can also go through something like that. You know what I mean? It's important.
Yeah, and like I say, I've seen a lot of fighters, you know, a lot of fighters, you know, who had great careers, and they sort of all seem to fall down that path. So yeah, if we can all just help each other, it's a community, like a fight community. So yeah, it would definitely help.
Something great.
Yeah,
definitely. I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll definitely, whatever I can do to help you with that.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
I appreciate it.
Definitely, for sure. So as far as I know you got to recover, you got to do the stem cell stuff. What do you got going on as far as, do you have anything going on outside of fighting?
Yeah, so, you know, I've just got a job down at a gym on Miami Beach.
Cool.
So I'm a trainer down there. You know, it's more
West Wave?
West Avenue Boxing.
West
Avenue. At the moment. It may change, the name may change. It's very new, it's only been open like 2 weeks.
Cool.
It's a sort of like a box hit type thing, but I'm obviously doing, you know, a lot of technical boxing down there, one-on-one with people.
Okay.
I love it. Like, that's what I used to do back in England. I had my own gym back in England, and you know, I recognised that I had that passion for coaching, and I do get a little bit of that, you know, that I do with the fighting from doing that. So that's something that I definitely have to do, not just for the money, for my own well-being as well. You know, I'm never going to be one of these people that just, you know, goes off and does a 9 till 5. I want to stay in fighting.
Definitely.
I think it's important.
Do you see yourself coaching fighters in the future?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Like I say, from seeing the tryouts in Miami a couple of weeks ago, and how people are just jumping into this sport now.
And a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, which is dangerous, right?
Yeah, very, very dangerous. Like for me, like as a professional boxer, like I turned pro at 18. I was super naive, man. Like so naive. Like, and I had managers, I had promoters. A lot of people take advantage of me, you know, and
which is a common occurrence in fighting. It's super common.
I mean, it happens all the time. That's why more more fighters need to get involved as managers and trainers and that, because you've got a lot of guys who are coming straight out of university with a business degree and everything else who know how to exploit people. And at the end of the day, us fighters, we're not the most intelligent people. We're not, you know, we fight at the end of the day. We're not paid to think. We're paid to fight. So, you know, I've seen a lot of fighters be exploited.
It's terrible.
And I hate it. So, you know, if I can get into the fight game and get my own little management going where I can look after fighters, you know, because I can see it all coming now, to the point where you know, promoters probably find me quite hard to deal with, because I'm not taking anyone's shit anymore. Like, you know, everyone's coming from an angle. I know, like, and so.
Yeah, he did it on his own too in England. So it was like he was his own promotion, his own management, his own training, and he did it all on his own.
Yeah, and that just comes from, like I say, putting so much trust in other people to do their job, and they don't do it. So yeah,
it makes him hard to work with. Because he knows the truth, he knows everything, he knows how it works.
Like, you know, I know it happens in all industries and that.
You can't bullshit a bullshit.
But at the end of the day, you know, I'm 32 now. You put me into big fights, you know, there's got to be a little bit of fairness there.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I mean, at the end of the day, you to take advantage of someone who's literally, like, they're getting hammered and destroyed and chopped up into pieces. You know, it's.
I mean, I've got more so at the minute from professional boxing. Like, some of the stories, man, like, it's just, you know, like,